Thanksgiving is this Thursday, and I want to dedicate this week's episode to the No Kid Hungry campaign as we approach the holiday. For our very first season of this talk show, we were uncertain about whether or not we were going to produce merchandise around our show, but when we did decide to do so, we thought we would partner with this amazing foundation, especially after finding out that 1 in 4 children will face hunger this year due to the unfortunate pandemic of COVID-19. But thankfully, we aren't the only ones who've partnered with the No Kid Hungry team to lend a helping hand to these children. My next guest raised over $1 million in his fundraising campaign, setting the highest record for an individual No Kid Hungry campaign in its history. Let's get a closer look with our charity champion, celebrity fitness trainer, and today's man of the hour, Isaac CALPITO. Now, as you sit back, relax, and hear this episode, the Men of the Hour team and I encourage you to head to our merchandising website, represent.com/men of the hour, to purchase a Real Talk t-shirt, hoodie, or ball cap, where 100% of the money you spend will go straight to the No Kid Hungry campaign this year. And we encourage you again to visit represent.com/men of the hour. Isaac, Mr. Celebrity Trainer and now charity champion. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm so excited. I'm really happy.
I am too. Yeah. I'm glad you said yes. I'm excited to not even just virtually look at you. I mean, we're both in New York, and we just found that out too. But
yeah.
You know, we're meeting on terms on behalf of No Kid Hungry, but in a way that really means a lot this year and really has kind of elevated what it means to give back in such a time. But you got to walk us through that. What kind of sparked the idea to take what you were doing as a celebrity fitness trainer? And we'll get into more of that because you are the celebrity fitness trainer for what you do with Torched and every client you've worked with. But to take that and now raise over $1 million, you know, so many months later, what kind of kicked off the campaign idea for you, especially maybe since you haven't yet done something like this in the past?
You know, I think going into this quarantine, we all felt uneasy. We all felt uncertain. We all felt restless. And I did my Torched Instagram live stream as a one-off, mainly just out of feeling like I had to do something. Yeah. And it was at the end of that first live where I think I had over like 100 viewers. Mm-hmm. But at the end of that live, I saw, thank you from Portugal. Thank you from Guatemala. And I was like, well, this is dope. I was like, maybe I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I did it every day for about a week, and I grew exponentially, like 300 more viewers every day, including my celebrity clients who were on it. And by the end of that first week, I think I had like 1,500 viewers. And I just felt like I should amplify it because it was really sort of an exciting moment. And so I reached out to No Kid Hungry because I just think it's always been a charity close to my heart. You know, the idea of a child not knowing where their next meal is coming from is a really frightening reality to me. And I reached out to Carla at No Kid Hungry, and we created a direct link to encourage my viewers, in lieu of paying me, to hopefully donate. My first goal was $1,000. It was 1,000. Within 24 hours, we had over 10,000, which is so crazy and amazing. And you know, my birthday was October 30th, and the date, like my birthday wish was, because we had raised so much throughout the summer. I think we were at $800,000 2 weeks before my birthday. My birthday wish was, oh my God, like, can we get to $1 million? And it really was a lofty goal, you know? And we surpassed $1 million the day before my birthday. And I'm just so happy. It's just like, I'm thrilled.
Because in working with Carla, who I have to give a shout out to, she was the way we found who you were. She said, you know what? A good Thanksgiving guest episode would be with Isaac Boots CALPITO, right? And it got me so excited to think that somebody else was going out of their way to do what they really wanted to do, which was with Torched, and you were already training and you were already going to be doing live workouts, and then to top onto it and see the influence of how donating can really now pile up to over 1 million. But give me your initial thoughts here, Isaac. When you first saw that it was creeping up, the numbers would keep going and going, and they were all people that were just tuning in. I remember tuning into Vanessa Hudgens. Shortly before I followed you, it was when I saw her go live with you, and I said, you know what, Isaac has something here. But I failed to realize at the time it was a No Kid Hungry campaign. And then long behold, you had the link there for people to donate. And then, so the numbers kept creeping, Isaac. What was your first thought when you saw 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 and more?
I mean, it was such a whirlwind. I did not expect this. There was no agenda for this. I just didn't feel comfortable in such a disastrous time to be poaching people for money to pay me.
Sure.
You know, I've been very, very blessed with a career where I get to travel the world and work with, you know, with very successful people, and it felt unnatural to me to do that. And so doing this every day sort of gave me incentive to show up with positivity and show up with excitement, because yes, I believe in my workout. Absolutely. It's effective. It works.
Yep.
But something else was happening. We were connecting. We were meeting people all over the world, not just superstars, frontline workers, you know, grandmothers, grandfathers, fathers, kids, mothers, you know, single people who are alone in their apartments or homes, coming together every day at 11 a.m. Yes, to work on their bodies. Yes, to connect, but to give what they can. And so, some people can only give $1. It adds up. It adds up.
Very quickly. It does.
Every day. They show up every day, and $1 is a lot to a kid who doesn't have it. You know. So I'm just like beyond thrilled, and I sort of got on this what feels like a snowball, and just went for the ride and tried to remain present and incite people who could to give. And I feel really happy that we can at least go out of this really scary year. You know, there are a lot of you know, for a lot of people it's uncomfortable, and for more people it's disastrous. They've lost family members. They've lost their jobs. You know what I mean? Yeah. And okay, I just felt like it felt it's one thing to complain that you can't go to pastis anymore. It's another thing that a child is literally starving. And the fact that it's proven that there is goodness in the world, and we've raised over $1 million, $27,000 for kids, and to help them immediately. Sure. You know, it's really cool. And to see my celebrity clients jump in without me asking them. I didn't ask Vanessa Hudgens or Lisa Rinna or Kelly Ripa or Armie Hammer or Elizabeth Chambers to join in. I didn't. They just saw it and were like, oh my God, dope. Let's do it. It's cool. It's amazing.
It's beautiful to see you guys take influence at such a high caliber with celebrities and say, you know what? Here's something we could do, right? Instead, it's to incentivize the people who are on the call, but also...
What's the point of being famous? What's the point of having exposure if you can't do something good? Otherwise, it's embarrassing. I find it embarrassing. Yeah. If you don't. Man. I really do. I think it's kind of gross if you don't.
Right. And it's gross if people don't. Yeah. And then those who want to, though, I know we're in such a time, you mentioned it, this is a disastrous year for so many people. And I know people who could just give $1 sometimes still want to do that, even if that might have been someone who lost their job. They'll still give $1 if it comes in. But for
it's major. Yeah. It's major. Look, and this is why No Kid Hungry is really important to me, is I come from very humble means. And I remember what it was like, and I remember not having, and I remember what $1 was. I mean, I remember having $5 and thinking I was rich. Yeah, you know. And so the fact that anyone gives anything is beautiful, you know. And it's an amazing thing that I have you know, people in the Torch community like, you know, Lizzie and John Tish who can give $100,000. Yeah, you know, Kelly Ripa and the Edelmans and you know, but that $1 from someone in Kentucky, to me is just as special, because not everyone can, you know?
Mm.
So
Now, if they want to go above and beyond and start their own campaign as well, how easy is it, especially with a No Kid Hungry or maybe a similar campaign? How easy would that be for somebody?
make a call. Make a call. Do it. Everything's easy.
Yeah,
If you want to
really.
do it, baby. If you want to do it, sort it out.
Yeah.
You know, find a cause that is important to you. Go to the top and make it work. You
Yeah.
know,
I love that. I want to talk
I don't
about,
like excuses.
right. No excuses aside. That should be your
Yeah.
Torch logo at this point, right?
Yeah.
If you have celebrity and influence, use it, and
Yes.
don't do it. Don't do anything with excuses. Push them aside. I want to ask you
Absolutely.
about being a trainer, though. All these years later, your clientele list has skyrocketed to some of the most powerful celebrities. And in what ways have you found that this is what you thought you would be doing, after so long? Did you see yourself as a celebrity fitness trainer all these years later? And then was there ever an aha moment that you were like, I'm going to keep going with this because I like it?
That's a very interesting and great question. I I never set out to do what I'm doing now. I One thing I always have done is whatever I'm doing, I do full out, and
Mm.
I say yes to opportunity. I was a dancer on Broadway for 10 years in major hit shows, and through that it was actually I was in West Side Story on Broadway. It was my
Yeah,
last Broadway show, and I created Torch then, but I created it for me because it was such a viscerally challenging show. I didn't have time to go to the gym. I didn't have time to take class, to run in the park and do all the things I love doing. So
yeah.
I was like, look, I gotta keep this body in check. And so I created this 45-minute to an hour flow of dance conditioning, body resistance, targeted reps that I knew I could do anywhere, in my dressing room, on the stage. And I started doing it on the Palace Theater stage before the show with my boombox playing Madonna. And slowly but surely, the rest of the cast started joining in. And so I had the Jets and the Sharks and Bernardo and
Yeah.
Maria joining in every day and like screaming, and like I'd be yelling out cues. And I caught the bug then. And when West Side Story closed, I started choreographing for major pop icon goddesses. And I moved out to LA, but I would start rehearsal with Torched because I knew as
Mm.
a dancer that that's what got me prepared for my show. And
Wow.
that's what really took off. And that's how my clientele started growing, and working in New York and the Hamptons and LA, you know, Gwyneth Paltrow, Priyanka
Yep.
Chopra, Kelly Ripa, blah blah blah, and everyone. And that's what I was doing. And I'd be flown out to Art Basel and Paris Fashion Week and do all these fabulous things, and award season in LA. That when quarantine happened, it felt just like a natural progression to share it,
Sure.
you know, because the travel stopped, you know. And I was already FaceTime torching my
Torche.
clients in LA, or if they were on set. So I've been doing FaceTime training for years,
Yeah.
years, because a lot of my clients travel, you know. So it felt natural, and um, it felt like the next step,
Mm.
and it's grown into something really beautiful. I mean, we have people all over the world, baby,
Which is so nice.
which is really cool.
That's really
You know,
cool.
I mean, there were pre pre technology and pre what we're
Mm.
experiencing this year. There's no reason anyone from Iran, Saudi Arabia, you know, Samoa, all over Canada, all over Europe, Tokyo, would be have access to what I do.
Without it.
You know, so it's cool. We're sort of broadening our scope, and I think it's a beautiful thing.
All right, time to take a quick beat from this incredible conversation and give you a proud sponsored message from our partners of this episode, Cosmic Green Candles. They're a Massachusetts-based candle company that believes that it's all about the vibe and staying environmentally friendly as you light your candles. Now, that's from their wood wicks to their soy wax that they use. Everything is all about what they believe in, which is staying sustainably friendly and making sure that you enjoy every single candle. Two of my favorite candles from Cosmic Green Candles is Sweater Weather and Santa's Workshop, both of which burn really slow, and they light the room up and smell so good so quickly. I think they are the perfect stocking stuffers for your loved ones this holiday season. I promise they smell so good, and the best part is when you're burning the soy wax inside, it is so friendly to the environment for all of us as it's not releasing any negative toxins into the air. Cosmic Green Candles supports reforestation as well, so every one candle that you buy, they plant one tree with the One Tree Planted campaign as their reinforcement to their mission, which is to be sure that they are protecting our planet as we burn our candles and enjoy them. For some of the best candles out there that smell so good and that are so friendly to our environment, be sure to head to cosmicgreencandles.com and just use the code CandleSeason20 for 20% off your entire order. That's cosmicgreencandles.com, 20% off with the code CandleSeason. Let's get back to the episode, and I encourage you to buy a candle or two for a loved one this year as you're tuning in. Now, as the demand, though, of not only your client list, but now of your fans and the people who watch you. And there's this world with their eyeballs on you, Isaac. There's no question about it. And it's such an incredible thing. But as you mentioned earlier, when you have power, influence, or celebrity, or all three, do something about it. But how have you managed, expectations to some degree while staying grounded all these years as the level up keeps happening for you, even now?
My upbringing. Upbringing. I think coming from where I come from, my grandma passed away 10 years ago. She was like the champion of my life, and she was, I grew up on food stamps, so I am grounded. I have to stay grounded because her voice is always here. Also, I have a group of girlfriends who I've been friends with since I was 7, 12. 20, and they would slap me silly if I didn't stay grounded. So, I think that every experience I've had, every blessing I've had, I don't take it for granted. I take nothing for granted because a little boy from a little shack in the middle of the Pacific, listening to Madonna, one day with Madonna sitting on my lap with Kelly Ripa taking a photo of us. It's surreal. It's a beautiful thing, and it shows that when you find your passion and you treat it with respect and diligence and discipline, beautiful things can happen, but you have to always give back. You have to. There's no other option. It makes everything you receive worth it. Otherwise, it's vulgar.
You went straight into the next thing I was going to bring up to you. There's always this notion that so long that you're giving, before you would give them back, so long that you're giving all the time in what you do, in the people that you're able to influence while doing so, Isaac, the notion I wanted to get to was that when you give, you always receive tenfold. And I live by that because it goes back to your non-agenda, non-intentional way of doing what you do that's somehow beautifully built celebrity and influence around this career now of yours. What are your thoughts on that notion? When you give, you will always receive tenfold.
I think that giving should have no agenda. I think that for me, receiving any sort of praise, receiving anything material, receiving a promotion, receiving anything that is good is attached to the responsibility to give back in any way. That may not necessarily mean monetarily. Give back of yourself. of energy, of positivity, of awareness.
Mm.
And I think awareness is the key, and always being curious and open to ideas and open to people's experience, you know. And it's always a learning experience, There are moments in my life where I was utterly selfish and completely interested in desire for myself alone. But you learn, and life sort of slaps you around.
Yeah, it does.
And at the end of the day, giving back and giving to someone who has less than you and inspiring people to just makes it better. And whether that means you get back tenfold, I think what you get back is a sense of joy, and then you can appreciate what you have more, because everything's fleeting.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's fleeting. Fame is an illusion. So, it can go like that. But if you know that when you had your moment, or you had a moment of glory, that you used it for something good, and some kid who thinks $1 is like $1 million, to have something as basic as food, which shouldn't be a luxury, it makes it worth it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why we have you on this episode.
Yeah.
What are your Thanksgiving plans?
I think I'm in the Hamptons. I have a lot of friends out there. And I may be doing an event out there actually on the weekend. Yeah. I'm supposed to go to LA tomorrow, actually, and then come back on Monday. But I don't know. I'm a little trepidatious because numbers are rising, and I just sort of, I don't know. I don't want to do any unnecessary travel. But sure. I think I'm in the Hamptons for Thanksgiving. Yeah.
I love that. I was going to say, the reason I ask is because you've certainly done a lot even before this Thanksgiving holiday, right? And I think we couldn't have brought you on at a more perfect time. Just because, again, this is something that's going to be an ongoing issue for so long. You alluded to it, that it shouldn't be a luxury that kids, that food is a luxury to them. That should not be a thing. And unfortunately, around the world it is. And you've done not only your part, right, as being a humanitarian, as being a human on this planet, to just give a little, but you were successfully able to give a lot. And I want to leave you with just one last question. I guess going forward, are there other intentional now things that now that you've seen kind of the flourish of what it really can look like when you use your influence and celebrity and clients and the world that you live in to bring people together and donate for such a great cause? Can we expect more? Are you interested in maybe working with other charities or just continuing this type of work, especially as we foresee the pandemic kind of continuing for a little while?
This is just the beginning. Just the beginning. The Torch live stream was born in the Hamptons, which is actually why I'm going back.
Yeah,
I'm doing a big fundraiser on my Instagram Thanksgiving morning, and I've worked with Mariska Hargitay on her Joyful Heart organization for domestic abuse, and I did a big live stream with Lisa Rinna and Brian Atwood and Dr. Jake for the Trevor Project, and I think that finding charities and finding causes that are relevant, that are in need of attention, is something that I just am passionate about, and No Kid Hungry to me is my baby, and so more is more, and I actually want to delve into starting. The next step is delving into the education of it and getting incepting into a child's life at an early age, that fitness and wellness is important, because once you do that, it'll stay with them for the rest of their lives. And I think there are interesting and exciting ways to make that a reality. So yes, feeding kids who need it now, but also digging in deep and making it a really sort of long-lasting, impactful shift.
And that you are. a long, impactful, shifting person. I'm so glad you said yes to this interview. I want to thank you again for being today's Man of the Hour. On our
Thanks for having
Thanksgiving
me.
special.
It's an honor.
Everybody listening and watching this, he's going to go live on Thanksgiving Day, which is so great. So be sure to tune in and donate as you wish and as you may. But Isaac, it's incredible. We both work with No Kid Hungry. There's other foundations and charities out in the world too that everybody can go give to.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it all takes the one step of either you donating something as little as $1, or you can even launch your own campaign in the digital world we live in. And it's so fantastic to see that it is easy, right? And easier when you do it with people, be it your clients, your celebrity friends, or just your friends who from high school even, right? To just give back is such an important thing.
Anyone, I mean, inspiring anyone in your life or in your reach to give, it matters, So let's do it, baby.
Let's do it, baby. Isaac, thank you so much again, man. It was such a pleasure to meet you and your dog too. Let's check out this little puppy.
That's Davis.
Here. Happy Thanksgiving, Davis. But happy Thanksgiving, Isaac. It was so good to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Justin Crawford here, and I'll be back next week with another great guest on the Men of the Hour podcast. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review right here and anywhere else you'd like to listen. Also, check out our Instagram and YouTube channels when you get a chance and see the full video interviews with our guests at Men of the Hour podcast. Thanks for listening. Now get out there and make a positive change for yourself and those around you.